Hello, wrestling fans. Long time no talk. Sorry we've been gone for a while, but we've had a couple of busy months here. I finally got to the end of bowling season, and I've been getting a little more experience with my ham radio operation, so I apologize for being away. But hey, we made it finally. We're finally doing another episode, and I have to welcome back. It's been a while for himself, William, my brother. How are you, my brother?
Yeah, first things first, I'm good. Second thing, I'm a page Saray your asses. I'm back.
Wow. Made it sound like you had some overdue receipts to give or something.
Well, things have been busy, I'm gonna go ahead and just get it out of the way. I'm engaged, so life has been crazy.
Well, I was gonna bring that up subtly, but you beat me to it. But I want to. I was hoping. I think I remember saying congratulations right off the bat. So
Yes,
I
sir.
think,
You're the first person I messaged.
yeah. And like I said, congrats to you, my brother. I didn't think this would ever happen, but here it
I
is.
don't think I don't think anybody saw that crap coming.
This was almost kind of like seeing a chair shot or something coming from you. But no, congrats to you and Andy. I think you both have been really good for each other, and I really wish you both forever happiness. So,
Yeah,
um,
we're working on it.
proud and
It's a struggle.
well, it always is. Every relationship, it takes two to make everything work, and I think you two will definitely be really good for each other here.
Yes, sir.
But William, you remember when the last time we did an episode? I don't even know if it was with you. It might have been with Brian.
It was
Actually, no, I
two.
think it was by myself. It was the
Yeah,
WrestleMania predictions, and
it was about let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks ago since I was on.
yeah, wow, yeah, it's definitely been that long. So, yeah, we apologize. Like I said, lots of things we had going on. I was coming to the end of the bowling season. Finally, got my part over with the nationals, or as many people know, the USBC Open Championships.
We also had an impressive showing for our first time for the NHL.
Yeah, we actually, my wife and I made it a goal. We were debating on, sorry, Carlos, we were debating on either going on this year's Jericho cruise, or because this would be the one and only time to really do it, attend every home game for the Utah Mammoth. And Sarah and I met the goal of doing the Mammoth. So sorry to our Jericho cruise friends, we're not going to make it this year. We're hoping we'll make it on for the next one though, and we hope to have a lot of fun. So, but William, outside the getting engaged, anything else fun going on in your world?
Apparently, I've gained tenure at work, but
Tenure?
they said it, not me.
Oh,
They celebrated my 10-year anniversary and told me I'm tenured in, so that's great. But I've also been fishing.
nice catch. Been having any luck? I've seen kind of hits and misses on the Facebook.
So right now, the place to be is the UNS.
Nice. I imagine that's just because it's cooler and that's where the fish tend to bite.
Yeah, I went up there Friday morning and just killed it.
Nice. What would you say was your best catch?
About a fucking 18-inch rainbow, which
Nice.
is that's a huge size in that little tiny lake.
Oh yeah. I mean, anybody who's ever been to the Uintas knows it's you don't
Small
catch
fish.
you don't catch a whole lot of big fish there, but 17 inches, that's pretty good size for that area.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, anyways, William, a lot's gone on since we've last been on. WrestleMania's come by, same with Backlash. AEW's had their Double or Nothing pay per view. But man, it's amazing if you haven't been following, man, I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I would say is I've been a little disappointed since WrestleMania because I feel like WWE's kind of gone a little downhill with not having as much wrestling. And I cannot believe I actually seen this the other day on the internet, and I want to get your take on it because this is what made me laugh. Is and I think it was Vince Russo that actually said it. The thing that tuned him out of AEW was there was too much wrestling on TV. And the first thing I'm sitting here thinking, okay, we need to kind of analyze this. Isn't part of having a wrestling company to have wrestling matches?
That is the dumbest statement I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't know if that
I'm-
was Vince Russo or if it was somebody else, but I remember it was someone that's been involved with wrestling gave that take. But go ahead, Will. Sorry.
I'm feeling the same way with WWE right now. They've just kind of slipped back into a mundane regurgitation, like I've said before, where we're seeing just repeat matches. And really, the only thing that's actually going on is NXT is shaking things up. And on top of that, the women's division is blowing up on the main roster. Other than that, they don't got a piss pot to fucking piss in. It's I don't know what they're doing.
Well, the one thing I feel a little weird on, and it's not, don't take this thing wrong way for those of you who are fans of Roman Reigns, the bloodline, all that. I kind of feel like we're taking a step backwards. We're bringing back the bloodline, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. But the one thing I do think they are getting right is Oba Femi. They have done a really awesome job. The only thing I disagreed with was having Brock Lesnar tie it up with him 1-1. But we'll
yeah.
I think we're gonna have a little more on that when we start elaborating on a bunch of wrestling we got going on for next weekend. We're gonna give our predictions for both WWE's Night of Champions and then the cross promotion of AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL, and Stardom's Forbidden Door pay-per-view.
God.
Yeah, I mean, we got quite the events going on next week. It's already full-on wrestling weekend. So if you're a fan of both promotions or all promotions, this next weekend is definitely going to be jam-packed. And I really hope these cards deliver, which I think they will. But William, sorry, I kind of cut you off, but were you going to add some thoughts there on the Oba Femi?
Oh, they're definitely doing a good job with Oba Femi. And I don't mind the whole Brock Lesnar thing. I get the point is to sell tickets. Fine. But, I mean, one of the things that chaps my ass is, Brock Lesnar did the official retirement, kissing the mat, leaving the boots in the ring. That kind of just tarnished the whole entire retirement thing. And at that point, I can't trust that relationship.
Right. And, the one thing I will say is not every feud needs a rubber match. I just, to me, if you went to the trouble of having Brock leave his boots and gloves in the ring, that should have been it. But nonetheless, like I said, we'll get into it once we start getting in a little more of the Night of Champions card. And speaking of which, I don't know why I took it off. For those of you who are watching, thank you for tuning in already. It's amazing that we've already got a bunch of people watching us. We're live on both the X app through my main page at WFI Pod and our YouTube channel at Wrestling Fans Insight. As you can see, Insight spelled as it is in the little bubble down there. So, William, without any further ado, we got a jam-packed show here, and we got a lot to discuss here, being our first time back too. So here we go. We got the WWE's Night of Champions pay-per-view in Riyadh next Saturday. For those of you who don't know how to watch it, you can watch it via the ESPN app, Unlimited app. You got to have that unlimited package in order to watch the main card. The first hour, I believe, is actually free just on the ESPN app, if I remember right.
Also, I'm going to throw a plug in. You can get the Disney app bundle.
Oh, and you can watch it through that too. That's right. Which ESPN's a part of that bundle too. For
Yes,
those of you
sir.
who don't know. Also, those of you who are international, you can watch it through Netflix, of course. So be sure to go check out those apps for next Saturday with this big event going on. Will, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Even though we always knock on it for not having as much matches, I think this was the one night that will probably be okay. But let's start off
I
with that. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to that, when you're doing a night of champions, that's what you want to see. So it's okay to do less.
Yep. So this is the funny part, though, even though it doesn't really involve a championship match. The first one is a steel cage match between Seth Rollins facing on his former Vision member, Braun Breaker. This is quite the grudge going on. Seth Rollins managed to get a win not too long ago on Raw, but here we are again. Doesn't seem like things are going to settle down with the Vision costing Seth Rollins a chance to advance in the King of the Ring tournament. So here it is. We're now hopefully going to see somewhat of a close, maybe, but we got a lot going on with this. Like Braun Breaker just returned from injury. Seth Rollins obviously returned from the brutal beatdown from the Vision. I think down the stretch here, I think Braun Breaker might possibly get this victory. What's your thoughts?
I think honestly that it would be better to have Seth Rollins and get the win because that's just going to further the story. I don't know that they're ready to close it out yet because if you think about it, who else are the Vision going to take on? Because there's been no other interest besides, the Street Profits.
Right. And that's where I was going to move to next. I have a feeling we're going to see the Street Profits hopefully be the ones that takes the tag team championships away from the Vision.
Well, they certainly deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they do. However, with the Vision being as strong as they are, you never know. I mean, like you mentioned, we don't see this really coming to a full close. It's possible, but I doubt it. I mean, the way they're booking this lately, I think we're still going to see a long time feud going on here between these two groups.
I also think you're going to see a new faction form with Seth Rollins.
And the Street Profits.
Yep.
That could be, and you never know. So, but and those of you who are actually tuned in watching us, feel free to throw in your comments on these predictions as well. So, William, again, you decided to go with Seth Rollins on this.
I did.
All right. And I'm getting sorry if I'm looking down. I'm marking it in our notebook so that we know who's going to get who. But anyways, on the next match here for the Queen of the Ring finals, and this was going to be interesting to see what happens. It's between Io Sky and the current WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. And what's really interesting about this is if Liv Morgan wins, she then earns a shot to go against the undisputed women's champion Rhea Ripley. So this one might, who knows? And the even funnier thing is if Io wins, then she faces her best friend Rhea Ripley for the undisputed championship, or possibly Liv Morgan for the world heavyweight or for the world women's world championship. I'm not sure on this one, Will, but who do you think? Who do you think comes out on top on this one?
Okay, so this one's complicated as crap. Like, this is an interesting story. So, we know that WWE kisses both of these women's asses like crazy, right? And there's been plenty of feuds between all of them. I think in this case, what they are probably going to do is go with Io Sky because Liv Morgan doesn't need any other accolades. And this is going to create some controversy with Rhea Ripley.
I I think it's possible EO wins this. I mean, I know in our group chats on the X app, formerly Twitter, a lot of guys are thinking Liv may lose this, and it may be just due to the fact that, possibly Roxanne Perez or even Raquel Rodriguez comes down to try to help Liv, but it backfires and costs her match. And then this may be where the turmoil for the Judgment Day women here come together and start beating the shit out of each other. I don't know.
It's a fair point. I think our minds are kind of aligning. We're stating it differently.
Well, and the funny thing is, I think a lot of the folks in our group chat was hoping it was going to be Raquel Rodriguez in the final, along with Liv Morgan, and that's where the breakup was going to start. But I think it could possibly start if they try to help Liv and she doesn't win this Queen of the Ring finals.
So I think the smart thing to do here is have EO win and have what you said take place. And then it's time to finally give Raquel Rodriguez her flowers.
And here's the one thing I know you mentioned, that Liv doesn't need another accolade. But I think the one thing that is pretty much not on her side so far is actually winning a Queen of the Ring tournament so far. And I think that would probably, neither is Io Sky. So really either women, both deserving, both earned their shot. I think Liv Morgan ends up getting this. Just like I said, this would probably pretty much complete everything that she could do outside the other mid-card championships, with the women United States Championship and the Women's Intercontinental Championship. But this would be a good start.
I think it'd be better to have EO take it this year than have Liv take it next year after losing her titles.
And again, if you want to throw in your predictions, feel free to throw it in the comments here on the live of the X and the YouTube. But William, let's move on to the United States Championship. Trick Williams, who just won the championship from Sami Zayn back at WrestleMania, will be defending against Ricky Saints. Wow. I'm amazed they got Ricky going for a championship this quick already, being in the main roster. So who do you think's coming out on this one?
I got to go with Trick Williams on this one. Ricky Saints is obviously talented. We've watched him for a long time. But he's got to put in his dues with WWE, which Trick Williams has been there for years.
And one thing I will point out is when Ricky Saints first came to WWE, he came in and he ended up winning that NXT not the North American. He came in and won that NXT championship from Obafemi. Unfortunately, it was a short reign as Obafemi regained it. My only worry is sometimes I feel like when you get moved to the main roster as quick as they do, sometimes I think the championship changes right away. Could be hurtful to the career sometimes, but Ricky's been in the game for quite a while, not just WWE, NXT, AEW, the independent scenes. I believe he's also a former MLW champion, if I remember right, before he came to WWE. But I don't know. I could almost see them making the same thing happen like they did with NXT. But I also think having Trick Williams just win that championship at WrestleMania, I think it would be too early. I would think SummerSlam would be the better time to really lose that championship.
Yeah, right now would be bad timing for Trick to get beat because it would just make him look weak. And you don't want to do that at the beginning of their main roster.
No, you really don't. And like I said, it can be detrimental to a career depending on how you value or how wrestling experts value. And by all means, we're not wrestling experts, we're just fans. So please don't take our word for everything here. But I'm with you. I'm going to stick with Trick Williams on this. There's no sense to seeing a championship change yet. But let's move on to the Night of Champions Women's United States Championship match. Tiffany Stratton will be defending against Jade Cargill. And I know this was back in December where Jade Cargill won the WWE Women's Undisputed Championship from Tiffany because I was there at Salt Lake City. I hate to see Tiffany lose another championship to Jade again. And I think where Tiffany is a little more healthy and not injured at this moment, I don't know if we need to pass that championship to Jade quite yet after just losing the women's world or the undisputed women's championship to Rhea at WrestleMania. I think she's got a great thing going on with her new baddie group with Mia Yim and B-Fab coming in to team up with her. But again, you never know what WWE will do. They seem to make some weird changes, especially where I feel they made it a little too predictable lately. And this could be one that they really muddy the waters with the fans. But I think Tiffany Stratton ends up retaining. What's your thoughts?
I don't like this match. I think it's absolute crap. I think they're just trying to make sure to include Jade Cargill in the picture. I don't have a problem with Jade Cargill. She's amazing. But I think, honestly, it's best to have Tiffany Stratton win this one. So I'm sticking with Tiffany Stratton.
All right. Yeah, we're going to move on to that King of the Ring finals. And this one's really, really going to heat up. This is going to be something very interesting with the ruler Obafemi taking on Jey Uso. Main event Jey Uso. This, and for those if you've been living under a rock lately, Jay had to fight his way through. Well, both guys had to fight their way through a fatal 4-way, and then through a singles match, and now that here they are, right to the finals. Jey Uso very much made it clear that he's going after Cody Rhodes if he wins this King of the Ring, and he's going to win that WWE Undisputed Championship and bring it to the bloodline. Obafemi kind of got some scatterbrain plans going there. And it's not anything on Obafemi, but, you know, I would hate to see Oba lose to Jey Uso in this. But I see this happening. I see Brock Lesnar coming in. He gets in, causes some sort of interference, causes Oba to lose. Jey Uso wins. He goes on to SummerSlam to face Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. And then we get the rubber match with Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, which should hopefully end this feud and possibly retire Brock Lesnar, being that this will be in Minnesota with SummerSlam. So, William, for me, I hate to go with this. I know it's not a favorite even with Stampede, but I got to go with main event Jey Uso on this win. What's your thoughts?
So I'm with you on the Brock Lesnar getting involved at some point, but I don't think it's right now. I think what you're going to see is Obafemi take it, and then when he goes for the championship match, Brock is going to get involved, and in turn, what you'll see is Jey Uso getting scrutinized by Jacob Fatu.
Well, that's another interesting point. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots of factors in this match. And, you know, it's funny because we only have one match left to discuss for the Night of Champions card. But I kind of feel like there's more going on for this match than there is for the main event. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about the fucking bloodline. You're talking about Universal. You're talking about Obafemi and his great rise. Jey Uso's place. There's just so much going on.
All right. And we're going to move on to the main event, which I feel will be the main event for Night of Champions. We have an undisputed WWE Championship triple threat. We have Cody Rhodes, who will be defending that championship against Gunther and Sami Zayn. There's a little bit of scattered thoughts in this, but William, let's have you go first.
I am not a fan of this match. I've about had it with this. I'm not even interested in this match. Okay. Look, Gunther is going to be a champion at some point, but right now, Cody is the guy. They keep on crapping on Sami Zayn. Cody comes out on top.
I hate this because I understand why Sammy's in the match. I just don't think it was quite for the right reason. Being that next WrestleMania will be there in Saudi.
Just say it. It was crappy. It was put together like a freaking construction paper project in a kindergarten class.
Well, it's almost like they felt they did Sammy wrong earlier, and now they're trying to make it right by having him in the match. But why not just slow build to the next WrestleMania to get Sammy more involved into the undisputed WWE Championship picture?
I totally agree.
I just feel like we rushed this decision just because we needed Sammy on the card, and here he is on the card, but I don't think it was for the right purpose. So
it's irritating.
And the one thing you always hear a lot of the IWC squawk about, and it's not anything against the IWC, but sometimes you do need to understand long-term storytelling does need to take place, and this isn't a long-term story here. So I just don't feel Sammy needs to be in this match, period. I mean, you could have threw in one more match and fall Sami Zayn for like a number one contendership, who knows? But
you know what's going to happen.
Gunther
and Sammy are going to get into it and just cause complete havoc.
I don't know if that. See, my thought process is going different. I think where Gunther had Cody pretty much in the. Well, Gunther didn't have Cody. Gunther's leg was outside the ring. I mean, it was clear and obvious Gunther didn't lose that match. Or technically should not have lost that match. Cody should not have won technically either. So, but I think Gunther's going to end up winning this. I think he's going to end up getting the undisputed WWE Championship. And I could possibly see him having a long reign until WrestleMania. And who knows, it might be Sami Zayn and Gunther again, which would be really interesting since Sammy beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Was it 2 or 3? Yeah, it was 2 WrestleManias ago. So I'm going with Gunther winning this. I think a lot of this too is it's nothing against Cody. I feel the popular feeling is the IWC is getting rather tired of Cody being champion. I'm not. I like to see what other things Cody could do being the undisputed champion, but we need to have more matches to see what he can do with that. So I'm going with Gunther. Williams going with Cody Rhodes. That's going to conclude our predictions for the WWE's Night of Champions, which will happen next Saturday, June 27th in Riyadh. Now, William, we're going to take a little break here as we like to give some love to some of our other friends as well as promote our socials. But again, we're live here on the X app under my main account, WFI Pod, and also our YouTube channel at Wrestling Fans Insight. Insight spelled, as you can see down there at the bottom of your screen, INCITE. Be sure you spell it right, otherwise you'll get something else. And moving on to our X app socials, you can find me using where you're seeing this probably right now at WFI Pod. I also administer the Fans of Pro Wrestling Network, which we are part of, at FOPW Network. And also, William, you're on the X app as well.
At William Hoppy 8.
And MII for the last couple of months, our tag team partner, the Brian Adkins, Brian the Hype Ballard, he's had quite a bit going on. He's been taking on some tennis things with his daughter. I hope things are going well this season for her, especially on the competitive level. And Brian's actually had a few personal projects going on outside of wrestling that's taken him away for a little bit. But we hope to have him back right as things slow down for him. Also, be sure to check out and participate in our X community, the fans of pro wrestling. You can find it under my main account, WFI Pod. It's spotlighted there as well as on the FOPW network. Be sure to get in there, have some great chats. Get in there before X eliminates communities altogether. That's what seems to be the biggest squawk as of late. I don't know how true that's going to be, but we'll see. And then you can also join Carlos at C to the OS 77 or at Conquer the No. He's also every once in a while administering the Wrestle Collective, and I need to get that added one of these days. But you can follow that account at DUB, the letter C, and then worldwide. That's the Wrestle Collective's X handle. But Carlos, who's also a member of our Fans of Pro Wrestling Network, he hosts Space every Monday and Wednesdays. Mondays right after Monday Night Raw, Raw Reactions with Carlos, and Wednesday Night Chaos shortly after AEW Dynamite on Wednesday nights. And be sure to follow Brian's YouTube channel when you get a chance. Go check out his past content. Again, he hasn't done anything for a little bit because he's been busy, but you can see some of his presentations there. Go to his YouTube at Tap Out Talk. And we also have a group chat on the X for the fans of pro wrestling. Just get with me, Carlos, or Brian. Brian might be a little hard right now to DM, but you can DM me and Carlos. All you got to do is just be a wrestling fan and be a positive wrestling fan. Whew. That was a mouthful there, William. Anyways.
I can't believe you ain't coughed yet.
I know I've been actually working
Hello?
better being hydrated. Like, can you hear me? Well, it sounds like William has some technical difficulties. The poor guy. So we're going to wait for William to come back. Looks like William just got back. Can you hear us, William?
I can. Sorry. I stepped outside of the apartment and my cell phone is quite literally a little bitch.
Well, you mentioned how you said you're surprised I haven't coughed yet. That's because I've been really keeping hydrated.
Good.
I'm actually
about time, dude.
I'm actually working back on my weight loss journey. Kind of got a little too heavy and peaked at the couple months ago. Luckily, I'm going back the downward way, which is the good downward way, by the way. No, I've been working on keeping hydrated, but I've had to change up my diet too. Had a little bit of a health scare here after 2 weeks ago at my last doctor's visit. So we're going to get things back to being improved on my end. So, but William, before we move on, I know you like to talk about NXT and LFG a bit. You want to throw some things out there that's been going on lately?
Bro, that crap is crazy. I can't even, like, the biggest point that I have to throw out with NXT, they finally made Zarya champion. And I think they kind of shortchanged Tatum Paxley on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because when we watched wrestling back in the day, not very often you would see someone win a world championship and then go down to the mid card championship. And I kind of felt
been weird.
I kind of felt they did Tatum wrong that way in some ways, because we've always, when we watch wrestling, you would watch them rise their way through tag teams, then the mid card singles, and then the main event singles. And sometimes I think WWE needs to go back to that formula to kind of help get these stars back to being a little more Now, what's the word I'm looking for?
Nostalgic.
Well, get it nostalgic, but bring them up the right
Traditional.
way. Traditional. There we go. Bring them back up in the traditional ways to make them a bigger star. And I think sometimes they get away from that, and it kind of hurts talent sometimes. Just depends on the talent too, you know.
Yeah, I'm not
So
really sure which direction NXT is going in right now. Like, I'm still loving the content, but it seems like they're just kind of a little lost right now. They're trying to integrate new stars, and they're just kind of going buck wild with it.
yeah, and speaking of new stars, and speaking of which, yeah, congrats to Zarya. Well deserved for her. But the only thing I was a little down on was they have her lose the match next week. I'm just like, what the hell, guys? Come on. But anyways, no, I think there's a lot going on in NXT. It's a little scattered at the moment, as I've used that term quite a bit this episode.
It is.
But I think we're going to see a lot of great things here with some new faces, and that's what NXT needs right now. Is they need some fresh faces to keep moving the product forward.
Well, I mean,
So,
when it comes down to it, NXT tends to deliver when it matters most.
right. So, with all the new faces coming on board, Will, who's your favorite?
Honestly, I want to see Jasper Troy just push forward.
Nice. I kind of, I haven't didn't catch her name, and it's my bad for not following NXT a little more. There's one that's kind of like the rock star girl or daughter of a rock star. Um, I want to say her name was Lizzie Rain or something. I could be wrong, but she's kind of caught some eyes and attention of many others out there. Uh, but anyhow, I know you like to talk about LFG a bit. Has anything new come out of that lately?
I'm still waiting on the next season. Quite a few people got injured on the last season, but what you're going to see come out of that, there's some truly amazing talent that's going to be coming your way. It's going to be exciting.
Awesome. Can't wait to have your updates on that as we progress with these shows. And by the way, I want to make a mention we won't be live next Sunday. I will actually be out dealing with ARRL field day. It's a bunch of us ham radio guys going out in fields and talking all over the world for the weekend. So, but I do plan to record an episode probably either Wednesday. Well, it'll probably be Wednesday night, and we'll release on Sunday to make up for us not being live. So it will more than likely just be an update to the Forbidden Door card. And speaking of Forbidden Door, Will, so far we got 10 matches announced with still 1 week to go. Forbidden Door will be taking place next week here on June 28th. I'm trying to get the graphic pulled up. There we go. And this is a cross promotion with All Elite Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL, and Stardom. 4 different promotions coming together to provide talent to represent each brand in this big pay-per-view card. Right now, like I mentioned earlier, we got 10 matches. It's pretty loaded already, and I can imagine we will probably see another, I'm going to guess 4 to 6 more matches added to this down the road here. So tune in again Wednesday night. I'm sure I'll have another probably hopefully 3 to 4 matches announced for this. I'm sure the final 2 will get announced on Saturday at Collision. But let's start with the 0 hour. We already know for the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championships. Double D, Divine Dominion, Megan Bain, Lena Cross will be defending their championships against Thunder Rosa and Olympia. William, do you want to start off with your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's cute, but they're trying to push the dominance of the Dominion. So I really think they're just going to go with Dominion.
Yeah, again, long title reigns. You and I have both kind of had this thoughts for many a times. I just don't see a sense to having a dominant championship team right now, where they just gained these championships not too long ago. I think it's too early to give it up. I think they need to continue to give more prestige to those championships. I'm going to go with Double D Divine Dominion as well. And we're going to move on next. This, and keep in mind, this is not in any particular order. This is just how we're guessing, folks. We got a three-way tag team match: the Young Bucks versus El Sky team of Mystico and Mascara Dorada from CMLL versus the Unbound Company, Shingo Takagi and Titan from the New Japan Pro Wrestling. Wow. This one could be anyone's match here when you compare the three teams. I kind of have a soft spot for the CMLL guys. I'm going to go with the El Sky team for the victory on this one. What about you?
So there's a lot of heat with Lucha Libre right now. We know that. We've been watching. But I'm actually going to go the other way. I think AEW keeps making the mistake of going with their home guys. So I do think it's going to be the Young Buck team that takes it.
All right. And we're going to move on to the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Our favorite, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, will be defending against the Dogs, the team of David Finlay and Clark Connors. I think it's pretty clear. We don't see this championship moving for a little bit still. I think Cage and Cope keep these titles for at least another month or so. What's your thoughts?
I'm right there with you. I think it's Cope and Dope that take it.
Cope and Dope.
Look.
Wow.
Creepy little bastard. Remember that?
Yes. I was gonna say,
yeah.
Every father's favorite guy.
I'm absolutely looking forward to what Finley provides, because we loved watching his father, but I don't think it's his time yet.
I appreciate Christian for holding some restraint and having some standards about not talking about dead daddies lately. So, but yeah, I just think we're going to see these guys hold it for a little bit longer. I'm going to guess probably till Revolution. Or not Revolution. Gosh. No, that might be right. No, Full Gear. I'm sorry. Full Gear. Gosh. I don't know why I keep getting my pay-per-views mixed up, but I do. So
maybe because there's hundreds of them now.
Yeah. Gosh, man, I'll tell you, my brain is on weird mode since now we're trying to get back into the wrestling scene here. But hey, let's go into the next match. The Owen Hart Women's Final Tournament. Mercedes Moné, who won it last year, your favorite, will be taking on Maya World. And Maya was not even originally in this tournament, by the way. She came in due to can't remember who was injured. I think it was God damn it. Now it's gonna blow my mind. I did this kind of on a last one I did with Brian where I forgot somebody's name and it drives me nuts. But Maya World did fill in for somebody in this tournament, and she scored an upset against Sky Blue. Another upset this past yesterday, actually, against her mentor Athena. And shortly after the match, Mercedes Moné and Athena are sitting there hugging Maya after the match. But then shortly after, they both attack her. It's like, oh boy, here we go. Mercedes Moné, unfortunately, did not successfully capture the AEW Women's Championship, though, after winning the Owen Hart Championship. This time, I think it could possibly be a different story if she does continue and she wins back-to-back Owen Hart tournaments here. I'm going to go with Mercedes Moné. I just don't think Maya's going to quite get the victory yet. What's your thoughts?
Really? You're going to ask me that?
Oh, I know. But I might as well. I might as well entertain the viewers who know you really well, especially Carlos.
You know I'm not going with Mercedes Monet.
Do you want to think this over? Do you want to call in a friend or use a
No, I
lifeline?
don't.
You sure?
I'm pretty freaking positive.
Okay. Well, geez.
Maya World for the win.
All right. I'm not going to twist your arm. So we'll move on quick for William's sake. This one is going to be a good one. The IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. The champion Shota Umino from New Japan will be defending his championship against Death Rider Pac. Woo! Willie, let's get your thoughts on that.
Pack all the way. It is time. This guy is amazing. He's done it all, and he has received next to no recognition. It is time to put him up.
And I'm going with Pac as well. I also agree. I think it's time for him to have some gold around his waist. It's been a while. I think the last gold he had around his waist was the
It was the Trios Championship.
the Trios Championship. Actually, that wasn't too long ago. So, but
that's not a singles though. So
but as far as the singles, it was the AEW when it was known as the All Atlantic Championship before it became the International Championship.
Yeah, so, no, it's time. It's time to put him up.
I think it would be awesome to add some more gold to the Death Riders as well. So I'm going with Pac on this. But don't count Shota out either. He's a very great talent, and like anybody who's not watched him at New Japan, you're in for a real treat this pay-per-view. So let's go on to another great singles match, one that I think is going to be nothing but technical wrestling all around. Kenny Omega representing AEW, taking on New Japan's Zack Sabre Jr. Woo! Zack Sabre has been hot the last few years. Hot. I think this guy has definitely been top 10 in pro as far as the male pro wrestlers, probably for the last decade. And to see him go up against a guy like Kenny Omega, a seasoned vet, has won championships all over the world. This one's going to get good, folks. This is one you don't want to fall asleep on. Zack Sabre has so far, I don't think he's lost at Forbidden Door. And I think he's going to continue that streak. I think Zack Sabre Jr. gets the victory over Kenny Omega. What's your thoughts?
100% with you on Zack Sabre Jr. Look, Kenny's at the end of his road. Right now, he's kind of on his farewell tour without telling anybody that he's on his farewell tour. Zack Sabre is up and coming, and I think Kenny is going to do everything he can to support the uprise of Zack Sabre.
Let's just hope there's no involvement from the Mighty Don't Kneel and from the Elite, because I think this match does not need any kind of overbooked or gimmicks in this match. This alone should sell a pay-per-view anytime, just with these two talent. Let's move on to the AEW Continental Championship. Jon Moxley, the champion, will be defending against the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito. Woo! This is going to be a fun one as well. Let's get your thoughts on this.
I would love to see Bandito win. I really would. But I think what we're going to see is Jon Moxley comes out on top and continues to dominate the Death Riders.
I'm with you on this. Just because when fans think, oh, Moxley's going to give this championship almost every pay-per-view, this is one I have to say I don't necessarily agree he needs to drop the championship. I think he's done a really wonderful job, especially when it comes to the Continental Championship rules, not having anybody at ringside. This is pretty much similar to like some of the rules like with the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, except it's not like under pure championship rules. It's just flat out one-on-one. And I could possibly see this go to a draw, but I think it'll close out at the end with John Moxley getting a victory as well. So I'm going to go with John Moxley getting this win. But I wouldn't be upset if Bandito won either. I mean, there could also be that possibility. So, but let's move on to the men's Owen Hart tournament finals. Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. Winner will end up facing the AEW championship, I believe, at Wembley. So, William, there's a lot of story to this. Anybody who did not watch AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday, seeing the words exchanged between Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, that was a pretty deep-hearted promo right there, especially involving with the storyline with, you know, the Death Riders and them backing up Hangman Adam Page. And the one thing that Swerve Strickland put out there is Will Ospreay has not yet beaten Swerve Strickland. And I think this will end up with a different result with Wembley coming up. I think Will Ospreay ends up defeating Swerve Strickland this time. What's your thoughts?
If it was not for the fact that Will Ospreay was out getting an injury taken care of, I would go Swerve. But at this point, I'm with you. I think given where it's going to take place, the comeback, it's got to be Will Ospreay.
Now, if Will Ospreay does happen to win this, he moves on to Wembley for that AEW championship opportunity. Is this Will Ospreay's time?
I think it is. Like he's put in the work. We know he has. And if you've never watched Will Ospreay, you have no idea. Like we've actually seen him in person, met him. He's a great dude all around, but his wrestling is freaking amazing.
All right, here's a fun one. This is a talent that's really grown on me lately. The AEW Women's World Championship Tekla. Oh man. At first I thought, oh dear, what have we gotten ourselves into here with AEW signing this lady? But
An Austrian psychopath.
Yeah, she has grown quite a bit on me. She definitely has the toxic spider persona going for sure. But she will be defending that championship against Stardom's Starlight Kid. And many people know the storyline between Tekla and Stardom, where she was fired in front of everyone by the Stardom president. And she's been banned from Stardom, by the way. I think this is going to get real interesting. But I just see Tekla being able to kind of still spit in the face of Stardom with this. I think she's going to end up retaining. I don't see a chance AEW allowing anyone outside the company yet to win the Women's World Championship. Will, what's your thoughts?
All Tekla.
I figured you would go that route. But yeah, would you agree Tekla's really grown since she's first started with AEW?
Oh, she's super talented. She's getting along well, working well with everybody. She is getting her stars shown, whereas she was held back before.
All right. So Will, last but not least, we got the main event, a cage match. The team of MJF The Jet, Kevin Knight, the current TNT champion. Kyle Fletcher, the Protostar. The Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Hey, I didn't stutter that one. Jake Doyle, formerly known as Jake something, if you don't know who that is. And Andrade El Idolo, who I believe is the current New Japan Openweight champion, will be taking on the team of Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Darby Allin, and the current AEW International Champion, Konosuke Takeshita. Now, here's the fun part, and this is always Brian Ballard's favorite, sarcastically saying, it's a gimmick match. So, what's on the line here? If Mark Briscoe's team somehow gets a victory, Mark Briscoe gets a shot at the AEW World Championship held by MJF. Now, one stipulation over another, if MJF's team wins, then there's some other championship opportunities that come to the Don Callis family. And this will really get interesting because I would say you got Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, Kazuchika Okada, and Andrade El Idolo, who all could be possible candidates for an AEW World Championship. But right now, I think Kyle Fletcher and Kazuchika Okada, not so much, because right now they're focused to get that AEW International Championship, bringing it back to the Don Callis family from Takeshita. So it could be a fight between Kevin Knight and Andrade El Idolo. So the match is interesting. I somehow think Mark Briscoe's team possibly win this. Mark Briscoe gets that championship opportunity, but somehow doesn't succeed with it. But I'm going with Team Mark Briscoe on this. William?
Going the opposite.
Hopefully you got a little bit of a long-winded response to this.
There's so much crap going on with this. Like, the different opportunities that come through it, no matter which way it goes, is going to be vast. So you mentioned all the things you mentioned. I'm going with Team MJF. And what I think is going to happen is you're going to see some interference from Mark Briscoe afterwards. And that's going to lead to a further match between Briscoe and MJF.
Now, what do you mean by interference from Briscoe?
Well, whoever takes on MJF, I think Briscoe is going to get involved in that match.
Okay.
But it's going to fail out.
Okay. That's what I got a little confused because I'm just sitting here thinking, well, yeah, possibly, but I don't know if it'll work that way. But that's some good viewpoints right there. I didn't even think of that.
There's a lot of ways this can go. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, especially with the way Don Callis' family has been pissing everyone off, the conglomeration.
I think what you're going to see ultimately happen down the road is the Don Callis family explodes. Just absolutely internal civil war.
Well, I mean, you got so much going on. You just recently had Takeshita leave the group, especially after winning the international championship from Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah.
They've also been pissing off the Death Riders and the conglomeration. I mean,
yeah, I think it's absolutely going to implode.
It's almost like a group of MJFs. So that's the only way I could really point it out. But
I'd really love to see the Hurt Business come in and just fuck with them.
Speaking of the Hurt Business, man, what direction are they going to go? Because for a while they mentioned they want to bring on a new member, but we haven't seen that.
I'm sorry, the Hurt Syndicate.
Oh, I'm still going to call them the Hurt Business, but
so am I. I don't know what direction they're going with him. It's like they dropped the ball with him, and they need to pick it back up because those two are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Bobby's
bummer that
not got that long left.
it's kind of a bummer that Cedric Alexander's with TNA, because I think he could have came in and reunited with these guys, and they would have had quite the foursome team going there.
Yeah,
And
and it
it
was
would
like
be,
2 years ago that Bobby said, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. And so it would be good to see them push him.
yeah. Well, and I think he really could use a AEW World Title run too.
For sure.
I mean, come in, just destroy MJF or whoever is champion at the time.
Yeah.
But
Let him
I
go
would,
out on top.
yeah, I would love to see a little more happen with that faction. But William, hey, it was quite the amazing day today, being our first time back in a while. I cannot believe we actually made it an hour here and still have the amount of viewers that we still do. So thank you for dealing with our bantering. But as usual, we going into the end of our episode, we're going to go into our final thoughts and shout outs. William, why don't you go ahead and start with your final thoughts, and if you have any shout outs to give, throw them out there.
All right. Well, first and foremost, WWE, clean your crap up, get it in order. As far as AEW goes, keep pushing and put some more focus on it. As far as the shout outs go, it's always to our fans, always to the people who support us. Thank you for listening to us. You don't have to. We appreciate it.
Yeah, whether it's one listener or 300 or 3 million, doubt we'll ever hit 3 million. But no, we appreciate each and every one of you that tuned in. Even if we have one person that listens, we still do it just because we love to do this. We don't do it for money. We're not monetized in any sort of way. We're not swayed with one company or other. We're just two wrestling fans that just love to talk about it. However, again, I hope to get Brian on here. Would love to get Carlos back on the show one of these days to pick his brains on many things, because he does such a wonderful job. He's exploded so much on the X, and I'm still having some technical difficulties. I thought we had things cleared up with Spotify and or not Spotify, but things fixed with the X app, and apparently it worked for one episode, and then after that it wasn't working again. So I hope to have Carlos's shows back on Spotify, but for now, please catch him on the X app. He's really taken in a lot of wonderful wrestling fans and getting their opinions. I've seen him gain anywhere from 100 to 300 listeners in a show, and some of that I'm sure is after the recording's done. People go back and listen, but yeah, get in there, get your thoughts out there, talk some wrestling. He does such a great job with having so many people in there. Shout out to you, Carlos. We're proud of you. We hope you keep things going and expand things, especially with the Wrestle Collective. And be sure to check out the Wrestle Collective as well. They have lots of great content on YouTube, Discord. Also, I believe they're on the Spotify as well now. They've got so much happening, so much great content. I mean, you can never get enough wrestling with these guys. So, and also be sure to check out our friends over at the DWE, Miami the Great, the Final Boss Lady. They do such great content over there, as well as their DWE radio project. Be sure to go check them out on the X app as well. Big shout out to Jim at Fan of the Van. He's been out for a little bit, but he's making a comeback. Glad to see he's still pushing through. Also to our Wager Wire family, that group of people is such wonderful. They got anything from football to ice hockey, basketball, baseball, soccer, you name it. They talk about it. Get over there, go check them out at Wager Wire on the X app. Lots of great shows every day, believe it or not. Yes, every day. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone who managed to check up on me while I've been out the last couple of months. No, there's nothing wrong. We just had a whole busy couple of months here. So I appreciate you checking in on me. We're fine. I trust me, nothing's gone wrong, but we're hoping to be back more often here again. Won't be live next week. You'll be recorded, but we should be back on target. So, but anyways, yeah, WWE, I would love to see you step it up with the wrestling a little more. AEW, like Will said, keep pushing. You're doing lots of great things. Keep it going. But William, without any further ado, I think it's time for us to call it good.
Yes, sir.
And I wish you a great week here ahead of time. I'll see you here in 2 weeks again in the studio.
We'll probably be seeing each other a little sooner. Yeah.
Probably. But anyways, take care, everybody. Enjoy the shows next weekend. Again, I might pop in again real quick on Wednesday Night Live or do a recording, which will air Thursday. If there's any more updates to the AEW Forbidden Door pay-per-view or even possibly WWE's Night of Champions PLE. So take care. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.